CPU miners rejoice. Monero does not seem like it wants to stop at all. Holy crap, guys. What is going on? Welcome, Rabid here. I was just going to record a video, but I thought, you know what? Let's just go live and see what you guys have to say about some things here. Why is my chair so darn high? Hold on. Give me a second. Going. Oh, that was way too fast. Oh, up. There we go. Whew. A little better now. All right, let's do a quick roll call here. What is that? Ether Nova Chain, what is going on? Ether Move Chain is here watching a legend. Yes, sir. I love lives. Nice. Awesome. Welcome. Over on the Twitch there, we do have the Pirates in the house. He said he had to go somewhere. Where's he going? Who else is live streaming right now? I tried contacting Panda and some other people, see if they wanted to come on the live stream. As we know, Red Panda Mining is ditching GPU mining and moving over to CPU mining. He's beginning to see the light that we've been trying to tell everybody. No, I'm just kidding. But no, he is CPU mining now. But let's continue on with the roll call. Oh,
Red Pot's nuclear power plant mining. Red Pot's in the house.
Welcome. What is that? Is that Caviar Mining? Caviar Mining, what's going on? All Crypto 31. The Pirate again. Rud. Scrolling. We got the Toxic Miner, 6854. J Styles. Rainbow. Oh, Random Miner. I almost said Rainbow Miner. Random Miner. 306 Miner 8. I was waiting for the stream. Let's go. Nice. Tech Man, what is happening? What's going on? Do you have all those liners on static IP? Most routers default to 50 or 100 less. What do we got here? What's that? Aquaponics is here. And it just jumped on me. So who do we got? I see Crazy Seekers there. I think we caught up on everyone. Flitby there, Swamp 7. And I think if I miss you, just say, hey, Rabid, you missed me. All right. What do we got here? We got Ether Nova Chain on Twitch there saying CPU mining is trending, but my goal here is making GPU mining great again. We are going to get listed in non-KYC. I am an ETH hash coin. Interesting. So jazz miners all the way, huh? Jazz miners are rocking your chain. Ether Nova Chain. I think that sounds familiar. You guys on mining pool stats? Let me just take a look here quick. Ether Nova Chain. I do not see it. Not at the moment. The pirate just says, ordered the Minisforum board and we'll test it with some really bad laptop memory. Should be interesting to see how bad it actually can get. Very interesting. I'll be interested to see what that could do, because other RAM is pretty darn expensive. But Monero, yeah, is freaking. Let's just take a look here. Look at, first of all, we have like an actual altcoin season again. So let's just look at the highs. We have Duro is just doing things also, but obviously everything's minus Monero. A lot of the other things are still a long ways from all-time highs. They're nowhere near, not even close. But we can see 782. Wow, let's just look at this. Like, this is insane. Well, you know what? I guess I should have hodled, but I didn't. You know, it's almost doubled the price where I got out at. So that sucks. But whatever. Who would have expected this? This is insane. This has almost turned into a scenario that I keep talking about before, that this is bad. Now, it looks like the hash rate for Monero has pretty much topped out. Even from like $400 to $500 mark, we're sitting around 6.5 to 7 gigahash. And even though we have almost doubled that price, the hash rate hasn't been going up. So it seems like we're at a limit where CPUs are right now, which is a good thing. This is where I say if Monero keeps going higher, we're going to see people start to pay stupid high prices because of the FOMO and probability that it's going to bring on more CPUs. And if that happens, we're going to be like GPU mining, because once this does start to, top off, it's not going to last forever, guys. That's one thing we got to remember. Not going to last forever. If it lasts a couple months, freaking awesome. If it only lasts a couple weeks, we have no idea. But, for the most part, picture in, say, middle of summer or something by now, when the X9 actually releases, Monero could be right back down to $200 or less. We don't know. But if a whole bunch of CPUs come on and that happens, or when it happens, not if it happens, it's when it does happen, because it will happen, that we're gonna have CPUs flooding all the other coins, and it's just gonna be horrible. So, oh, it's crazy. 777 right now. That's absolutely insane. 77.67. Wow, almost all sevens across the board. That's insane. I just want to come in. Let's just take a look at some profitability right now. What to mine? I like to use this website. So let's just jump into that. Look at CPUs, 12-cent power, 2200. Actually, this is about 106. This is on, really, this is about 142 watts. I'm utilizing on my X670. When I did that, it was 162. An X670 board uses 20 watts more than the DS3Hs and stuff that I usually use. So that's crazy. Just the motherboard itself can use an extra 20 watts just there. So keep that in mind when you build rigs. But so we're gonna go with this 22 kilohash, 142 watts. And wow, we can actually see X. I've been watching this. Freaking Monero's not even the most profitable coin. We got two coins that are actually decent right now. XDAG is 77 cents after power, $1.18 before power, and we have Monero at $1.17. And then we also got 76 cents. Now, I don't think this is also accounting for, look at this. We also got Epic Cash is also over $1. So we have over $1 here. Oh, wow. So here's something. As we know, Epic Cash, if you guys have been following in my videos on that, you are mining that only 48% of the time. So this is your thing on that. So if you took this and you 52% of the time you're mining this. So essentially you would be, if you combine these two, so let's just say 52% of $1.17, rough estimate, let's say it's $1, that's 52 cents. So add 52 cents onto this, you're making about $1.55, before power costs, mining Epic Cash, mixing with Monero. So this might be a great combo to do. Now you can't do that combo with XDAG because SRB miner does not work on this. You need their own certain miners for this. XM rig and stuff don't work, or SRB. So you can only do that with these two, or anything else SRB miner support. So there's another option. You could be making even more, or 50%, 52% of what you'd be making on Monero all by itself. You can tack that onto SRB. So here's a nice combo to mine as well, which I didn't realize at the time. A QRL is not quite there, but it's up there. But look at that. CPUs is looking pretty decent, at least for the 7000 series. Let's take a look now at the 3900X. So depending on your RAM, you're anywhere from 12.5 to 14 kilohash. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have the G-Skill Flare X RAM, which was the recommended RAM at the time when we were building all these rigs. They're only $70 a kit, 70 to $80 Canadian a kit. Now they're $300, stupid prices. So, and I don't know if they're also expensive at the time versus other RAM you can only get for $20, but you lose a little bit of hash rate. So we're gonna go with 12.5 kilohash here at say 113 watts or something. Let's just go with that. We're gonna calculate that. And we're just going to see what a 3900X is. And we can see 67 cents, 34, Epic Cash, 26. So you could tack on half of that. So another 15 cents onto there type of thing. So obviously, we're still profitable on 3900Xs, but, the 7000 series just looks so much better because they're so much more efficient. So much more efficient. Calculate. Example, right now I'm mining on my rig. I don't know if we can see it. Let's just take a look here. I gotta change my screen share, replace it with, right here. So yeah, I'm mining away while I am live streaming. I limited it to 28 threads, but we can see here my peak clock speed. Now this is peak clock with one thread, not all of them, but most of them are probably running around here. But we're running 3.5 gigahertz, so slower than a 3900X or 3 or 5000 series because they're about 3.6. So I'm running slightly slower here with my PBO curve and everything, but my hash rates is actually higher. So we can see I'm at about, now I gotta adjust my screen again. Window, where is, right here. So here we can see my hash rate's actually about 17.4 on the peak here. So, I'm running 28 threads at about 3.5. We can see we're about 17.4 kilohash. That's, it's not too shabby at all because, I wanted to run my stream and everything on top of this. So I did limit myself to 28 threads. And I'm also utilizing Monero Ocean. So I'm going to stop sharing this. And now, wrong button. I'm going to go back to screen share. Brave tab, CPU mining calculator into here, and now I'm going to come into here. This one, share tab, refresh. So yeah, here I am. I'm on Monero Ocean because one thing, because we're trying to get as much as possible. So you're gonna see your hash rate's also gonna be slightly inflated because it goes by your pay hash rate and stuff. So pretty much there. So we got this rocking on here, and remember, Monero Ocean is also merge mining Tari. Now, when you're using the other pools here, like let's come into here for an example. So now you're using support XMR, these other pools, like I think they're pretty sure they're merge mining Tari also with this. But the thing with these are then you got to send the Tari to the exchange, then you got to sell it and all this. Where Monero Ocean, it's doing everything, profit switching, and it's doing the best it can get to maximize your Monero input. It's profit switching all these coins and paying you in Monero. That's why you see your hash rate actually sometimes, depending if now obviously Monero is the most profitable coin in here, so it's gonna be merge mining Tari with it and automatically converting that to Monero for you. So you can get that Monero, capitalize on it. You don't have to do all this other crap in between. The other major bonus, 0% fees. They have no pool fees. So that's awesome as well. There's probably obviously there's some exchange fees in there depending on the exchange and stuff they're using, but the pool fees are also 0%, unlike everybody else. And it's interesting that we're seeing Monero pump and not many people are utilizing this option. I don't know why. But we can see 41% are on support XMR. That's getting close to 50%. Monero really prioritizes decentralization, so I'd highly urge people to stop using support XMR in the first place. Maybe it's just because they see the plus XTM here. I don't know, because other pools, Hashvault, it does XTM and stuff as well. And actually, Hashvault makes it a lot easier to get your XTM. But I don't know why so many people, they just go see the top pool and they run to that. Maybe it's just 0.6, I guess, versus 0.9 and stuff. But, here is 0% pool fees. And I took pictures of it. When I was on support XMR, I was actually getting less XMR. It was only one day. I tested it. I went to the daily average and see what I was getting, blah, blah, blah. And then I went to Monero Ocean and it's not much, like 0.0, 2 or something like that, XMR more on my farm. But like you're getting more than if you were mining on that. So it is doing its job the way it's supposed to be doing, on top of subtracting those pool fees. So that's what I'm on. I'm on Monero Ocean right now because it's converting that Tari to XMR as well. Now, two miners, I do think where's two miners? I guess they're not really being used. I thought two miners, I think two miners might have delisted Monero a while ago. I think I remember some of that, but they used to give the option to get paid in Bitcoin. Now, none of these pools have that option. So that's why I'm going with this. You maximize your XMR input by utilizing support XMR or Monero Ocean, and then you just send that to the exchange and convert that into Bitcoin or something. So we have no idea. Like, oh wow, Monero just went to 788. Like it's still going up. It just went up like $11 since we were looking at this. That's insane. So it's continuing to pump. I'm getting as most as I can now. And then it's up to you. Do you want to hodl your Monero or do you want to just convert it straight into Bitcoin, or you're just taking the profits, do whatever? That part's totally up to you. But I think this is the best way to actually get the most amount of Monero. So I'm probably going to record something on that. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's what I'm utilizing right now. We can see all the rigs here doing their thing. Monero. Oh no, rig 18. Which one's rig 18? That's the one right beside me 2 minutes ago. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. I might be this one right here. There we go. Yeah, that was my old workstation. I saw it. The power dropped down to only 90 watts. So I was like, okay, this one's not working. So I just give her a reboot. We should be back up and running soon here. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm rocking the Ocean and the Monero Ocean here, trying to capitalize on the Monero. You can see it's saying 514 kilohash, 0.0286 XMR. Currently, we can adjust this to whatever our hash rate is. So let's just say we're at about 500 kilohash here. What should our estimation be? 500 kilohash. So it should be about $26 a day, or 0.0. 336 XMR per day. This is crazy. And to think about, remember, guys, I did that video on if you were mining and hodling Monero 4 years ago. One 3900X was getting 0.01 XMR per day. And you can see my entire farm now gets 0.03. Absolutely insane the yields because no one was mining it. There was like 1 mega hash online that. So like, what would that be right now? Let's say, what was the price? $788 times 0.01. $7.88 a day. A 3900X was mining back then. If you hodled it to now, some people have hodled. I know Sojan is out there. He mined before it even went to random X. He mined 40 XMR on his RX 580 Polaris GPUs. On GPUs when it was back on Kryptonite. And he still has that XMR. Well, 40 some XMR. So what is that? 40 times what did I just say it was? 788 or something times 40. That is $31,000 that his Polaris GPUs of mine, which he still has. He still has it. That's the crazy part. He has been hodling. So a lot of people, when I made that video, who hodls? No one hodls. No one can do this. Blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? He actually did. And he still has that 40 XMR. And it's just exploding for him right now. So I bet you he has a big fat smile on his face. Like this. Oh, man. That's insane. XMR just keeps going. It just keeps freaking going. Let's look at the 1 week here. Boom. 1 month here. Boom. Like, it doesn't matter. You can even go to the all. It is just, Monero has been so strong and healthy. Like, it's crazy. I never would have expected it to go this high. And, this is what Ethereum did, guys. Ethereum was what, $100 to $200. You know, we were making 15, 20 cents a day on GPUs. People forget that Ethereum was only making 20, 30 cents a day on a GPU before it exploded. And then like it went from a couple $100 to $4,000. And obviously in between there, your profits kept going up and it was insane. But yeah, so it's pretty crazy. Absolutely insane. So $788. Like what if this hits $1,000? What if it hits $1,200, $1,500? Like that's insane. That's insane. If it hits $1,500 and no extra hash rate comes online, that is essentially doubling our profits right now. You know, these rigs are making over $2 a day before power costs, probably $1.60 after power, 12-cent power. Like, you know, that's looking pretty good here right now, but we just don't know what's going to do. Like it's going straight up. How long is it going to go straight up for? That's the part we don't know. That is the part we definitely don't know. But we also have some hopium that, you know, other altcoins start doing something like Deros 34, Byte. I don't really care about that. Dynex is up. Zcash is trying to make a comeback again. It looks like Quai has just been solid as well. Like it's at 10 cents now. Like it's doing like, Quai at what? It's over 3x in 30 days. You would have tripled your money. If you put in $100 a month ago, you'd have $300 an hour. Or is that 400? You times 3, so whatever. Ergo is starting to do stuff. Ergo is another one that I hope, like, we're looking at fourth wave altcoin season. This is the fourth and final wave. Maybe it's the only wave that was actually going to happen. We had some early bloomers like Doge and stuff that happened wave 1, which was insane when we saw that. I wasn't expecting that to happen so soon, but it did. And now, you know, second wave was kind of, you know, 1 or 2 coins did something. You know, third wave, you know, Zcash was in there kind of in that area and stuff. With, you know, third wave is coins that pump when Bitcoin goes to its all-time high. We didn't really see much on the altcoins at all, but now we're in the fourth wave, which is the fourth and final wave, usually based on the past cycles. And it happens a few months after BTC. So like 2 to 4 months after BTC pumps, we see the fourth and final wave. This is what we call the late bloomers. And it looks like this is the one where we're actually seeing money come into altcoins. So altcoin season is actually doing something now. So it's pretty exciting. This is the big one right here. Like, I don't know. Obviously, Monero is a big one. This is the big gamble one. This guy right here. Will Zephyr come in with this privacy thing? Will it explode? Like, I know I am hoping that this does something because I got a few coins of that one still. And if we could see, just imagine $100, $200 F, $100, $150, you know, even $75 F. Like, I don't know. Can we see a massive explosion here? Because look what happened over at Venezuela and all this stuff. You know, I didn't know the full story. What happened? Trump just made a phone call and got all their bank accounts pretty much seized from stable coins and stuff. 100% control. That's another thing. Here's a new rule and a new law, guys. Do not hold your coins on exchanges, which we already know all this stuff. If you're using exchange, send it there, sell it, and that's it. Pull out, whatever you do. The second one is do not hold stable coins. They're 100% centralized. They cater to whatever the government tells them to do. So remember that. That's what happened in Venezuela. Using the pressure, seized all their stable coins. They call the tether. Said, yeah, no problem. We'll halt those. Boom. Done. What happened with the truckers over in Canada here in Ontario a few years back? They gave Coinbase a call and, tether and stuff. Halt. Boom. See you later. Everybody, they're all talking about this, this regulatory. So anyone that's pushing regulatory action will be pushing to seize your coins. Not financial advice or anything, but just don't use these things. Don't hold in these things. Now, it's hard for a stable coin, but that's another thing where, I'm not trying to pump up Zephyr or anything like that. I've never touched the Zephyr ecosystem when it comes to the stable coin. Usually, stable coins is where all these coins fail. Like, look at Luna and all these other ones that are trying to peg and then they depeg, and like very volatile, bad situation when it comes to stable coins because everyone's trying to make one and then they always rug pull or something. But Zephyr is essentially supposed to, now, if Haven didn't go under, Haven would be probably exploding to the moon right now if it didn't have that glitch and everything that was within it. Where they did the audit and they finally said we have to shut the chain down. But that's what Haven was. Haven was originally designed to be a stable coin built on the Monero blockchain. That's what it was. And that's what Zephyr forked. They forked, obviously, when they first forked, it was Monero, and they came in. And then when they started adding their own stablecoin infrastructure, and they forked Haven, that's where they got that initial exploit where they went through the whole thing. Now, what they did do is they fixed the exploit. They did that audit, and anything that was audited and not audited is no longer on the chain. So now it's only those coins. And the amount of inflated coins that was on the chain, they dropped their emissions down to meet at that point. So we went up a couple extra years. So it's like right now, like in theory, we should still have higher block rewards, but now we're mining Zephyr block rewards like it's 2028 right now, say, for an example, because they had dropped their emissions to meet up with the coin so that we still have the same max supply, and they just tweaked that around. But the point here is then they fixed the issue, and now they have privacy like Monero, and then they also have Haven stablecoin built in that on the ecosystem. So I hope something happens and it explodes. Obviously, here we have no idea what's going to happen at all, especially when it comes to Zephyr, but it'd be awesome if it takes control and gets this pump as well. I think that would be amazing. And I know a lot of people have big fat smiles on their face. Another major thing, I wish Spectre, but we know it's gone, it's dead, it's done. There's no point talking about it, but it had high hopes. And if it actually would have, it quit just before it added its privacy on. So I don't know if they got pressured somehow or what happened there, but if they would have added that in, it would have been insane. Like they probably would have been exploding right now also because of all this shenanigans that's going on. So it's crazy. It's crazy stuff out there. But yeah, what do you guys talk about in the live chat? Hold on, I need to check something right quick. Did anyone get back to me on joining the stream? How much right now? Okay, so Iota Pi is busy. He can't. That's no problem. Panda's not answering, so he must be up to something. So that's no problem. All right, so I guess nobody wants to join the stream right now, but we'll see what happens when we get everyone together. Oh, I see first time chat from Amazing Stoop Waffle. Start mining Ether, it will bring. So what's going on here? Why now? I'm getting all these chats here now about this Ether Nova chain. So is this when I start seeing this, I don't like. First impressions are that's starting to look like it's a scam thing. Bots starting to attack the Twitchster channel. If that's not the case, I apologize, but you guys are just coming out like it is. I need to be listed in mining pool stats, but they removed the form there. I don't know how I can submit Ethernova in there. Imagine if I add privacy to Ethernova. I don't know if that is possible in Ethash, but I will definitely check this out. Well, probably it's probably possible. I guess it's just how the transactions are. Yeah, we'll just have to wait. Grab again. I'm not voting for nothing. I did see that use. I was looking at some other things, but the funny thing is, like, around where I am, no one's talking about that at all. With the whole voting about separation and stuff. Now, the voting to get the signatures is one part. That's just to get it into Parliament, so Parliament can actually look at it and vote on it. Like that part's the easy part. The next steps are the really hard part, and I guess it just comes down to the voting after that. But I will say, if Alberta does decide to separate, I will probably move into BC or something with Panda because no offense, but I'd probably go bankrupt in 1 hour when I go to the States because of, if it gets annexed into the 51st state. So I would probably move to a different Canadian province. What do we got here? Power is ripping. I think we're gonna hit $800 too. Like it is. Let's just take a look at it. 792. What the heck? Here we go. Monero watch party. Are we like all-time high after all-time high? Look at this. Where is it? All-time high 7 minutes ago, 791. It said all-time high was 7 minutes ago at 791, and we're sitting at 792 right now. So we're at a new all-time high, and it doesn't even know it. That's how fast Monero's moving now. Freaking moonshot. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Look at from the low, 370,000% Monero from 21 cents. Wow, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Yes. Well, yeah, Ottawa's been taking all the money and stuff. Yeah. Are you a leftist? Heck no, I'm not. Heck no, I'm not. But I am Canadian. What do we got here? We saw that. LTC is my stable. See, there's two different things. Now, I think Alberta has a lot of things to think about before they do that because they're landlocked and they're everything. Now, if they somehow made a way to figure out, they maintained all their money and did everything, they were still their own thing, then fine. But if they end up, joining the states, that's where I draw the line and be like, no, I don't want to do that. No offense to everyone in the states. A lot of you guys are awesome and stuff, but like, I'm Canadian. That's all I can say about it. I think when things change like that and you turn into the privacy healthcare and stuff, it just gets way too expensive. Like I said, I've been sick a lot lately. I can't afford any type of insurance and anything, so I'd be bankrupt within 1 hour of going to the hospital on my next type of panic attack or something. So wouldn't be able to do it. So I would just move because I'm Canadian. I would stay in other Canadian provinces unless Alberta figured out a way to maintain themselves and still be prosperous on their own. But I think that would be very hard for them to do. Everyone's just thinking, oh, we got to get rid of Canada. Like people don't look at the bigger picture and other things. They're just looking at, we're going to cut this off and we're good. So you cut off the Ottawa and the whole Carney thing. Yeah. So what happens in the next election if the Conservatives win? Then you go right back into Canada. Like, it's going to you're going to look pretty stupid. Keep going back and forth like this all the time. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happens. Obamacare is free. I heard that was a big scam on people too, though. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Canadian for now, 51st state soon. No, I don't think so. You know what? I don't think half the stuff will happen because the way everything's going on in the world right now, I think half the stuff people are thinking, like Elon wants to go to Mars and this one, I don't think any of that's even going to happen because I think obviously, if you read the Bible, I think the second coming and everything will happen before any of that stuff ever happens. And, obviously, the righteous will have the seal of God and we'll be able to fly around and do all these things and do whatever we want and be in heaven anyway with eternal life. Well, the damned will be, gone for the most part. So, anyway, that's just my 2 cents on the situation. The elite live in Canada. They don't want us up there. Oh man. Anyway, let's just continue on and talk about some Monero. What are we at? 793. Let's go. Moonshot. Big agree. You guys agree with that statement? Awesome. That's nice. Damned will be in Canada. No, the world. All the damned in the world. Don't you read the Bible when it says once when Jesus comes from the sky with all his angels, all the, I guess, the people at the mark of the beast, which is all the people that weren't saved, they'll be running, they'll be scared of him, and it's gonna be crazy. I want Pluto to be recognized as the ninth planet. I don't know why they even took that away. Pluto was a planet, and all of a sudden they decided it wasn't. Like, who decides this? It was a planet forever, and all of a sudden, okay, you're not a planet anymore. Well, guess what? You're the government, but now we don't want you to be the government anymore. So why can't we just do that? Oh man, craziness, insane. R is BC. I'm not reading that statement out, but everyone has the right to their own opinion. All we can do for the people that don't believe in it is pray for them, try to show everyone the light, and that's all we can do. Okay, what do we got here? Down will be Canada. I want Pluto. Yeah. Okay. Monero, let's go back to mining stuff. Let's talk about mining. Talk about mining here, guys. Let's do this. 794 and still climbing. Like, wow. Watch list. Engage. Moonshot. Whoa, what is that? 119. Oh, bite. What is it doing? MXC. Like, what's going on with MXC? You guys remember MXC? That's the one with all those. I don't even know how to convert my coins back from the old chain to the new chain. But that's where those little like 1 watt miners you plug in, and everyone was saying they're a scam. And then they changed their chain, and you're supposed to have a way to get them back by putting them on the new chain. And I don't know if they expired and they're gone now, because I never did do that. But it keeps going up and stuff. So I don't know what's going on. Like, you think if this would have rug pulled like 4 years ago. Like, what's the dates and stuff on this? When was its all-time low? All-time lows in 2026. Oh, it's when it forked. All-time high. All-time high was in 2022. It's down. Okay, it's down 99% of the time. Okay, never mind. What is it? 2022. It hit 10 cents. Oh, now we're at 50. Okay, I see that. I see why people say the rug pulled and everything. It's just weird that lately I see it going up and down by like 50%, 100%. And it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, continuing on. Let's just go with this. What do we got? So yeah, Darrow's still 30, but yeah, Darrow is a long ways from an all-time high. What is this? $23. Oh man, it'd be so nice if we could see $20 Darrow, don't you think? Anybody be happy with $20 Darrow? It was GPU mineable back here. Yeah, back in 2021, people were mining Darrow on GPUs, and then they forked their algorithm and all this stuff. Now it's CPUs only. But yeah, we need that thing to come back and do its stuff. All right, what else we got? Dynex is up 15. Zcash we kind of talked about. Ergo is one that Octa.Space. Come on, Octa. We need you to go back. Like $20 Octa. Come on. We need a what? 1, 2. We need 100x right now. 100x to move that decimal points 2 points. Let's do that. We can get 100x on Octa.Space right now. We'd be at $20 Octa. That'd be pretty freaking sweet, huh? Would it not? Can we get 1,000x here and put this at 878? Come on, Zeph. We need 1,000x right now. $878 Zeph. That would be freaking amazing. I know. Leo, I don't even know what's going on with this. Bitmain has yet to pump this. They're supposed to be coming out with a Leo miner, and I don't know where it is. I haven't seen it. Like, what's going on with a Leo here? Ethereum. I don't know why I still have that here. Let's just get rid of you. Goodbye, Ethereum. That's right. We don't care about you. Don't know why you're on my list, because you are POS. Helium is only up 3%. Did you guys see that glitch where Helium IoT was up like 300,000% there a couple of weeks ago? I posted it on Twitter. I can't remember, but like it just like kaboom. But obviously that wasn't the case. A lot of people were sad. Oh yeah, Raptorium too. We need that to yeah, that'd be a nice 1,000x, huh? Maybe next run. We'll see what happens. They're still building. They're still doing their thing. Yatacoin's still building. See what it does. What do we got here? Jockwick Miner believes we got 5950X and an RTX 2060. Anything worth putting this rig on? 5950X. Well, yeah, Monero or Epic Cash or XDAG all look like great choices right now for a CPU. and especially Ryzen CPU. That's for the 2060. Probably not. One thing I was looking at though, I don't know if Nice Hash. I wonder what let's just come. What's Nice Hash saying for profitability? Oh, I got no. I don't want that. I want Nice Hash. Nice Hash profitability calculator. All right, what are you guys saying for 79 device? Select device 79 50x. Calculate. So Nice Hash isn't paying that much. I don't even have my power in here. 0.12 cents. Calculate. 54. So Nice Hash is only paying 54-cent profit on a 7950X. So the demand for rentals aren't really there, which is interesting. 88 cents before power. Now just coming back into here. Let's just see if this has changed at all. Yeah, this is still saying $1.17, 71 cents after power at 12-cent power. So this is saying a lot more profitability here. 7.8 gigahash on well, it's using a lot more look at the blue. It's using a lot more network hash rate. This is saying 6.8. You know what? I'm gonna have to bring up my spreadsheet and we'll just kind of see, which one is closer to real profitability. Now, actually, before we do that, let's jump in and see what what's it called? Hashrate.no is saying for these as well. Let's see what this is saying. So if we go into mining calculators, coin calculator, we're gonna go XMR. We have to get to the bottom of which one is accurate right now, because we don't know. There's so many different calculators and they're all giving us different numbers. So we're gonna go 22 kilohash, 142 watts, and this is telling us 78-cent profit, 50 cents. So $1.18, 78 cents. So yeah, hashrate.no is giving us pretty close numbers to this. So I'm going to say Nice Hash demand isn't really there, but the CPU demand, you're making more just directly mining. I was thinking if the demand was there, and sometimes when there's higher demand, maybe in the next hour or so, the demand will pick up and then people want to really mine Monero, they'll get the demand. You should be making more on rental services because people are paying more to rent the hardware to mine it than mining the coin itself. So usually you can see higher profits in times like this, but right now that's not the case. But if it is, if you can start making more in Nice Hash, and then you can also just and you get paid out in Bitcoin that way. So that's the other thing I'm kind of keeping an eye on. If Nice Hash starts to hit higher profitability levels, I might move over to that. But right now it's looking like that's not the case. Best way is to just straight up do this. Now, one thing I do want to look at is coming into here. So it is, let's do a quick estimate here. Obviously, I'm not a full hash because, I have my threads limited on this, but I won't do too much. Let's say, that's down to 417. Your pay hash rate is 576 kilohash, but this is telling us 517 per day. So we got to adjust this to 576. 576 for our pay hash rate. So about $30 a day right now is what these are making, 0.0387 XMR. So let's just say 576 kilohash. Let's put that into a calculator. 576 kilohash. Yeah, I don't know what the power. So we're not looking at the power right now. We're looking at revenue. And $30 a day. Okay. So that's what Monero Ocean is telling us. Oh, you guys can't even see that. So you can see 576, $30 a day. So things are lining up. Estimated about 0.0364 coins and stuff. Yeah. So things are lining up on what we should be getting right now, obviously. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's do this. The X9. Let's see what the X9 is going to be doing. What is this? 2450 watts? This is insane. So efficient. X9, what are you telling us, X9? X9 is $53 a day right now. Oh my gosh. $53 a day or $46 after power at 12-cent power. That's crazy. Crazy. X5, 212 kilohash. What was the power on this thing? 1350 watts, I think it was. This thing's making $11 a day, $7.47 after power. All right, now let's kind of go into mining now to see what that's telling us. X9 is the top dog. This is saying $46 after power. That's right, after power. Z15. Look at that double. But remember, this is not released yet. Oh, I know a lot of you guys want this thing to be released. This is going to be this mine is going to be insanely profitable. Even if Monero comes down in price because people love Monero and stuff, this is going to be it's going to be in high demand. Probably one of the most high demand miners Bitmain has built for the upcoming year. 2026, this will probably be the miner that everybody's talking about, even if Monero is down to nothing, because 1 mega hash for 2,400 watts is freaking insane. It's better than a $20,000 epic in terms of efficiency. Like, it is absolutely insane. And it's coming in cheap. Like, $5,000 isn't cheap by any means, but when it comes to what you're getting for 5,000 for Monero, that is cheap. You could either do that or spend $47,000 on CPUs to get the same hash rate, and you'd be using, what is it, like 7,500 watts versus 2,400 watts if you were to do that in CPUs. It is absolutely insane. Yes, it's going to be nerfed a bit, but it's still going to be the best miner. Even with RandomX V2, it's still going to be the best miner unless they nerf this thing like 60%. And even then, it's still going to be on par, probably. Like, it is going to be insane, absolutely insane. So it's going to be interesting to see when that releases, but I don't know. Hopefully they don't have very many of them. That's all we can say. Is if they have lots of those, Monero mining on CPUs like this it's going to be over because we can't compete with that. You're going to need one of those to mine Monero, and it'll come down to whoever has the cheapest power price again. So it's going to be insane. Absolutely. It's going to be pretty crazy. Okay. Continuing on there. Don't buy an X9, people. Yeah, not right now. Don't buy, especially right now. Don't be going and pre-ordering these things because they are going to be a lot cheaper later on as long as they're supply. So there's the gamble. There's the gamble we got to deal with. You don't pre-order them now because for all we know, Bitmain's probably going to raise their price. Monero hits $1,000. These things are probably going to be selling for $15,000. I don't know, but the pre-orders are going to be high and they're going to drop. I bet that by the time they release, you could probably find it, $2,000 to $3,000 maybe by the time they actually release. But the thing is, when they actually release, they might not have any. So what do? Pre-order at a stupid high, not even a stupid high price. It's a good price, but versus what's coming, as we know how prices change with ASICs, it's going to be cheaper later on. But how much stock are they going to have? These are the variables you really got to think about. And when you make your decision on when you want to buy all of Bitmain's X9s, click them links down in the description. Crypto Miner Bros. Go to my website with all the lists and all the discount codes, and you know where to get them through Rabid. But don't do it yet. Just wait. Like Ethereum. No, well, this is totally different. Ethereum miners went down. Kaspa miners went down. Ethereum, I don't know. I think Ethereum is what turned a lot of people off the newer ASICs because Ethereum was riding off the success and profitability of what Kaspa had early on. And if you look at the timeline of how this happened, it was crazy. And Kaspa first came, then Ice River came in out of nowhere. No one knew if they were legit or not. They came out with this first Kaspa ASIC ahead of any other brand we've always heard of. And next thing you know, Ice River comes out like, are they real? Are they not real? So some people took the gamble on that. And the people that took the gamble, they made bank. They ROI'd that thing in weeks and then just, stacked so many coins so fast, like 600,000 coins off KS1s and KS2s early on because you're getting so many coins so bad, like 50, 100,000 coins a day. Like, it was insane, absolutely insane, because then everyone was sketchy about this. Then all of a sudden, everyone caught on. Oh, these are real. People started buying them, and yeah, a lot of people were ROI, and they're making so much off Kaspa. But remember, those emissions kept going down every month, and then they released a new miner. Then they dropped the miners down by 50% price, and people were like, okay, this early Kaspa mining was awesome, but now as the block rewards drop and everything happens, where we're sitting right now, the price dropped, then now it just sucks. It's not even profitable to mine Kaspa anymore. And then Aletheum came out shortly after that with their first ASIC, and people were feeding off the frenzy of early Kaspa. And now we're like, holy crap, I don't want to miss this. I got to get these now. And then everybody just swarmed in day one and bought all these ASICs. And then they all got turned on day one. And then there's no profit from the get-go. And that's where everyone got burnt off of lithium, is because they were feeding off Kaspa. And then from that day on, everyone just hates ASICs. Nobody wants it anymore. It's not worth it. Going to zero, ROI zero, because reality is Kaspa did all of this to everybody's mindset. And then these new coins come out with these new ASICs, first time ASICs, and everybody jumped on board. And that's what caused zero profitability from day one. So that's what happened there. Now we have some other ones that are kind of coming out, and it's kind of interesting. Now you got to play, like, it's not play because that's kind of mean to say, but you got to realize what's going on, how people are thinking, what's going on. And obviously, you guys can see how everyone thinks through the live chatting right now. You guys talking to each other and you that. Now take that mentality, look at people like wait, and feel out the market. Now sometimes we get miners that come out and all of a sudden, oh, I don't want that. That's gonna be garbage, trash, ROI zero. Now, if a lot of people are talking about how they don't want this miner because, oh, look, it's gonna be zero like a lithium or something, then it might be something worth picking up, because if so many people are now staying away, then the few that actually get them are actually making money. So it's a crazy, you you got to feel out everybody. You got to go to everybody, and honestly, it's same thing as like I say before, like we mine coins when profitability and everything picks up. That's when all the miners converge onto this single coin. And once they converge on the single coin, the hash rate spikes, the difficulty spikes, and your yields tank down to nothing. So the only saving grace you got is hopefully that price continues to go up. But as the price goes up and more hash rate comes on, your yields get smaller and smaller and smaller till you're hardly mining anything at all, but you're still profitable because the price is so good. It's just like early Ethereum mining when you're mining like people remember, like I remember some of old Pandas videos where you're mining 2 or 3 Ethereum a day on like a 6-card RX 580 rig, and you're only making like maybe 50 cents a day because Ethereum was so low, but your yields were so high. Then all of a sudden Ethereum moves to $4,000. Now you're only making on a 12-card rig, for example, with like 3060 Ti's, you're getting 0.002 Ethereum a day, but you're making freaking $50 a day because the price is so high. So your yields just tanked, but the price continued to rise. So your profitabilities were good. But if you take, if you're hodling that coin back then, imagine you're making $15,000 a day on that 580 rig, the year prior to that, if you still had your coins moving into that pump. So just, crazy times. That's why a lot of people say, bear market mining if you can afford it. Now, it all depends on affordability. Obviously, if you have a couple rigs, you got a real job and stuff, you can afford your power costs, and kind of eat the bill. But people like myself, I can't do that. Like, this is my job, so I got to try to make, and everything's just tanking down. The viewership is dropping, and obviously your income goes lower, lower, lower. But you got to start doubling up your video. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is now I got to make more and more and more videos each day in order to make up for it, less viewers. But, if you double up your videos, it's almost like doubling up your hash rate. I got to double up my videos so that, if each video is half the views that it used to be, I need, if I get two videos at half the views, then it makes up of what one used to be, type of thing, if that makes sense. So, it's just now you got to start doing all that stuff. And then obviously I'm penny pinching like crazy. Like, if it's not profitable, I can't mine it at all. I can't, not like it was back when Ethereum was here, because my GPUs were pretty much covering my entire farm's power. So I was using Ethereum to cover power bills, and then I could mine whatever I wanted on my CPUs. And that's how I was stacking up these bags of CPU coins and stuff, was through the GPUs in there. And then all of a sudden that went to POS, And then there were coins that were really good on CPU side, so we got lucky there that GPUs went dead and CPUs, no one was really mining on them, and profitability was good for majority of this bear market. But now we're starting to see people building more CPU rigs, and network hash rates are kind of picking up, and we're starting to lose a lot of the profitability that was even there on CPUs now. So it's just a crazy all around thing on how everything's kind of going around. So yeah. What is that? Zeph swapping on MA is so easy. What's MA? What is MA? If these key coins keep going the way they are rising in price, I'm sure the viewership will increase again. So, oh yeah, for sure. If we see this altcoin season really start to explode, especially with Monero, I think I'm gonna have to do some more Monero. I'll probably spend that while the pump is on. That's where the people are looking at. I got to make some Monero videos. So I want to try some retweaking on my rigs like I did the other day with AM5. We tested 2 sticks of RAM versus 1 stick of RAM, and I was actually blown away on how well a single stick of RAM worked on AM5 versus how AM4 was. AM4, we got a little more efficiency, but we lost a decent amount of hash rate. Like we were only at 14 kilohash or something already. Like that was good back then on 3900 X's. But moving from 2 sticks to 1 stick, you drop down to like 12 kilohash. With the AM5 here, we seen that I only lost not even 1 kilohash going down to 1 stick. And it actually lost a little bit of efficiency going to 1 stick, but not much. But the hash rate drop was nothing compared to that because we're already at 22 kilohash. And if we drop down to like 21.4 or something like that, that's not much of a drop for a single stick, and you lose 5 watts there, especially with the RAM cost. I could easily just cut down and use 1 stick of RAM in all my rigs. I could double my farm without buying any RAM at all right now because of that discovery. So that's actually a really big deal as CPU prices on AM5 are coming down because no one can afford the RAM. So they're not selling CPUs. But if we can split our RAM in half and not lose like any hash rate at all, that's huge, especially when you go on AM4 where you're losing 2 kilohash on already low hash rate of only 12 to 14 kilohash. That brings you to 10 to 12 kilohash. So you're losing 2 kilohash on not much. Now you have a lot more hash rate, almost double of that, and you're only losing not even one whole kilohash. So that's a big deal when it comes to AM5, 1 stick versus 2, unlike AM4, where you pretty much had to run 2 sticks to keep your hash rate and everything up. So it's a big deal when it comes to this. And it was a nice discovery to try that out. So next step I want to do is maybe tweak down my rigs even more, see if I can get a lot more possible efficiencies, because we're going to see network hash rates start to pick up. Like, actually, we don't know. That's one thing we want to watch as well, because we might be like, this is something we were looking at here earlier talking about. Oh, 7.4. So like we're not seeing a massive increase in network hash rate. Like look at the price. We know it's exploded. Like look how the price exploded. And usually when this happens, we see the network difficulty go up like that or even faster. But look at the difficulty. It's hardly going up, which means because if this is a GPU coin right now and it exploded like this, that network that network difficulty would be a straight up, because all these GPUs would flood in. But I think we're getting lucky here because there aren't that many CPU miners out there, especially versus GPU miners. So we're going to maintain profitability nicer. But if Monero continues to keep climbing like this, people are going to be talking about it. People are going to want to build CPU rigs, and it could end up bad for all of us. So we don't really want it to get to the point. We want it to get to the point where we can have some decent profit and maintain it, but we don't want to get too high a profit because then everyone will flood in. They'll pay $1,000 for a kit around because it's profitable. Like look at the stupid Zcash miners, 100% FOMO. You could have bought, if you really wanted to mine Zcash and you're in it for the tech that people lie their faces off about every day when they say that, mostly because they probably got burnt hard, so they say they're still in it for the tech. But for the most part, if you really wanted to mine Zcash, you would have bought all those miners when they were $50. Zcash pumps up, FOMO kicks in, people are spending $10,000 on a $50 miner. FOMO is there. So people, if the profits pick up here, people will spend $1,000 on a kit of ramp because they will do it. FOMO takes over people like crazy. So we don't want Monero. Like, it would be awesome to see Monero to keep going and stuff like that, but we don't want it to go too high. Like, on a mining standpoint, we don't want it to. People, if you're holding a lot of Monero, obviously you want it to go as high as it'll possibly go. You don't want $10,000 Monero, let's go, if you're holding, a big stack. But as a miner's perspective, I think at $1,200, I'll be happy if it hits 1,200 and maybe stops there, maybe does this for a little while, up, down, mostly sideways. If we start seeing $2,000 Monero, I think that's going to start looking pretty freaking, that's going to make people really want to buy CPU rigs, I think. That's my 2 cents. I don't know. You guys agree with me? Disagree with me? That's another thing. You could probably sell some of your rigs if it really gets bad, but that's only if there's a CPU shortage. Now, obviously, we don't have that, but we do have that RAM shortage. So, yeah, I don't know. It'd be crazy. Anyway, RAM tweaking for XMRig is something I would love to see as well. Yeah, I know that it all depends on the type of RAM too. I think you need, is it the Hynix memory? I don't know. There's the Bullzoid, I think it's called, the Bullzoid timings, which maybe I'll try. I'm pretty sure my RAM has that. The Bullzoid is the Hynix memory. I can't remember. But yeah, I should definitely do that. But that's also for more hash rate. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. I swapped up my Zeph mining wallet by 100% from 60 to 140 and swapped it up another 100% from ZSD on the way down. Best wallet currently. I don't even see, that's the thing there. JBoy3210. I have no idea how that works. I don't know. Like, they're swapping the USD and you can do this and you get your value of Zeph at the time when you do. Like, I don't know how none of that stuff works. So I just leave it all alone. I don't want to do something stupid in there with all the swapping. I just hodl in my Zephyr main coins. That's what I mine. That's what I'm keeping, and just wait for that price to go up. That's all I'm doing. There's Kyla coin you keep talking about, bits please YT. I haven't got into that one yet. Hynix memory for AMD. So Bullzoid or whatever timings is for Hynix. All right, so that's for Hynix memory. Gotcha. I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know what memory. Is there a way to see? Where's my sticks? Does it say what kind of memory is in those? Let me check. Oh, all right. Hold on. Let me just pull out my gold bars here. Okay. Gold bar number 1, 2, 3. Couple gold bars. Where's the light? Groove, warranty void if removed. It's not saying what type is in here, so I probably got to scan it, but I don't know. Hopefully it's Hynix. Then I got a bunch of this AM4 stuff. So here's a bunch of sticks of AM4. I don't know. There's 3 sticks here. And I got a couple kits here. See? Smashing RAM like it's nothing. RAM shortage? What shortage? Who want some? Anybody? Like, got RAM all over the place, and I was building all these rigs and expanding for salad rigs and all the stuff. I didn't even open the boxes, and it's crazy. I told you to take Invamectin. Yeah, I know. I never looked into that yet, though, but we'll see. Oops, meant to say, yeah, more XM rig and Monero content, please. pull the spreader off. Oh, I guess see inside, and then you'll know. I guess you have that scanner too, though, isn't there? What did I used to use for DDR4? Typhoon. Is it Typhoon? Does that work on AM5? I gotta look into it because everything changed from AM4 to AM5. Like, that tool that you used to use and stuff doesn't work anymore. For AM5, you need to use something else. I haven't really looked into all that stuff. Same with AM5. Is there a new whatchamacallit there? What's that called? I can't remember what that was freaking called. That thing where I used an AM5 and it'd tweak your cores to the peak of stableness, and then I did that, and like, it'd be insane. It burns a lot of power because you're overclocking everything. But I can't remember what that tool was for AM4, but I can't remember that they made a new one for AM5. I gotta look into that because that's something I want to do as well. I want to see, like, how much hash rate could I get out of my 7950 X3D or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. At what power is it possible to reach 22 kilohash on a 5950X? Oh boy, probably a lot, like 200, 300 watts, maybe. I don't know. It'll be a lot. It'll be a lot. Crypto Baltus is going to half all his AM5 RAM and get more CPU. See, yeah, if I could afford it, I'd definitely do that because I could essentially double my rigs up. Like, let's just come into here. This. So like right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So yeah, I could get another 13 rigs and not have to buy any RAM. Actually, that's a lie. I could get 14 rigs because I got actually I got one there. So what, 13, 14, 15, 16. I could get 16 more rigs. I got 3 rigs worth of RAM right here with single sticks. So I could build 16 more rigs and not even have to buy any RAM just by splitting these up. So that's huge, especially with the price of RAM right now. And an extra another 16 rigs of 7,000 or 9,000 series would be awesome. But I I can't afford that. I really wish I could, but I can't afford that at all. Zero, zero affording for sure. Like I have the PSUs and everything. Like is all I need is CPUs, motherboards, and coolers. I got everything else to build all those too. But yeah, I just can't do it. I can't afford nothing extra right now. Everything's insane. It's so exciting times and everything right now, but at the same time, it's not. It sucks. But anyway, yeah, let's continue on. Yeah, going to your real opinion on Quai. My real opinion on Quai is I think it's freaking they're doing everything miners ever asked for. Like seriously, think about it. Why is Ravencoin having? Why is this coin having? Why have? Oh, now we can't mine. We lost half our rewards, half our yields, half the hash rate has to leave because there's too much hash rate out there. Why did they have? So Quai removed the halving and they actually implemented 5x of their emissions. So they're paying miners 5 times more than they previously were. And on top of that, when network hash rate and difficulties go up, the block reward goes up a little bit as well. So they're doing everything miners always asked for. They're not into that, whole deflationary thing, which everyone always talks about because everyone leaves it in there because they pretty much all they did was fork Bitcoin and just didn't really change the code other than their name and maybe block time or algorithm. But, for the most part, they left everything exactly the same as Bitcoin. They say, oh, we're going to go to the moon. We're deflationary. Buy us. It's not happening. Everyone's leaving. You're not profitable. No one cares. So Quai, they implemented kind of what Cubic did, where they wanted to siphon value out of Monero. Now, what Quai is doing is they're siphoning the value out of multiple coins: Ravencoin, Dogecoin, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. And we can see it's working. And in order to do so, like I said, they up their emissions. So you're mining these other chains, getting paid, and all this extra Quai to make up how they paying you guys. So now they're taking the value out of there and they're putting it into Quai. So they're siphoning. The more miners they get, the bad it is on all these other chains because you're siphoning the value out. But the more miners they get and the more value they siphon out of these chains, the more value Quai is actually going to keep maintaining. So they're taking the money away from these guys and putting it into Quai, which I know on standpoints for people for the coin, for this, in it for the tech, they're not going to like that. But coming from a crypto miner's perspective, that's awesome. The only thing that sucks is you have to wait 2 weeks to get your rewards. So the market could dramatically be different by the time you mine your coins today, 2 weeks from now when you finally get them. So that's the only thing that I don't really like. But when it comes to a coin where they're there to support the miners. That's what it's a mining based coin. They're for the miners. Everyone else that used to say they're for the miners gave everyone a kick in the balls and left. Flux is a prime example, looking right at you. So Chlor did the same thing as well. They ditched all their miners. So they're for the miners. They're trying to do as much as they can for the miners, which is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. Plus, they got a lot of other things going on as well. They're going to be adding on all these contracts and different sharding methods and They got a lot of other stuff coming in the works, but right now they're focusing on getting their security, getting their miners, making miners happy. And then from there, it's just like making your base case and then you're building up from there. So they're starting with a nice strong base of miners and then they're going to build up from there. So I think that's all great. On a mining perspective, everything Kwai is doing is awesome. Now, on a moral in it for the tech perspective, a lot of people might disagree with what they're doing. But for me, I love it. It's awesome. That's my 2 cents on what I think about Kwai right now. Kwai is like starting a new job, waiting 2 weeks to get paid. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Some jobs, but if they're paying you more than the other guys, do you like your job? Because they are paying you more than the other guys, especially as a miner. And they're also going to be adding in, as we saw the other day, they're also going to have another fork in the future. They're looking at ways to do it. They're going to add in CPUs. So you're going to be able to mine Kwai on CPU. And obviously, it's probably going to be on the Monero chain, I would imagine. I don't see any other chain that they'd really want to be mining for it. So it's probably going to be Monero that they'll pull the value out as well, just like what Cubic is doing. But I think Cubic is really starting to fail because there's a lot of up in the air stuff. Like if Cubic has been pulling all this money out of Monero, why is Cubic not going up in price? Why? Where's the money going? The devs just hodling it for themselves, saying they're burning it and buying Cubic? Because Cubic has been going down since they started doing this, not up. Why? Kwai has been going up, and they're showing you exactly how much they're like. Everything is there. The Cubic hides everything, and they change everything on you. It's 100% centralized by one guy who's doing whatever. And I don't know. But let's just we go into Kwai right now. Kwai SOAP dashboard. We can see everything that's going on. Now we can't actually see. Someone brought up a good point the other day, and I'll ask them about this. But we can't actually see the wallet addresses that they have to see what's going on. But they are they're showing us this. So again, you need to see those wallet addresses to confirm all this if you really want to get in the nitty-gritty details. But sort of right here, at least they're showing us some numbers. Like here's all the blocks they've hit on Ravencoin so far, all the blocks on Litecoin, all the blocks on Dogecoin. Here's all their Bitcoin Cash blocks. Look at the 100 or 10 million Kwai has been burned. $1 million in value. They've siphoned $1 million out of the other coins in a month and some since they started doing this, and they continue to pump. Their price is going up, which means they're actually doing what they're telling us they're doing. They're putting it in the Kwai and burning the Kwai. It's that simple. They're doing it. Cubic says they're pulling all this money out of Monero, but Cubic keeps going like this. Why? Are you actually putting that back into there to help all your? No, it doesn't look like it at all. But here we can see the money that they pulled out, where it came from, which chains they got it from, their hash rate on each chain that they're doing, and somehow Cubic wants to go into script as well. I know one thing, there's no chance in hell I'm putting my script miner on Cubic when they can change anything in the blink of an eye because they don't care about their miners at all. They even said, we don't need the miners. We'll just go to do our own thing. We don't need the miners for our chain to go. But now they want to try to siphon this value of these other coins, and it's looking like they're not even doing that. They're pocketing it themselves. Now, I don't know if that's true. That's speculation. But just looking at the price of everything, it just doesn't seem like they're doing what they say they're doing. They might be, and maybe they're just not taking as much money as we thought they were. But I don't know. But here we can see where the hash rate is, where things are. And we looked the other day as well, actually they're a lot higher now, 2.3 gigahash, 2.3 terahash. How big are they on these chains? Let's take a look at Ravencoin now. Raven, 5 Raven. They're large. They're not just small amount of hash rate, 2.5 what the heck? Are they the top now? No, but this is saying 31% unknown. Let's just come back into here. That something's not right. 2000, that's 2.3 terahash. Yeah. That's a 2, right? Yeah, that's 2.3 terahash. Did it just happen? 2.4 terahash. That's a lot of hash rate. That's number one. 2 miners is 1.9 terahash, and it's half the network plus all this. So I don't know if maybe mining pool stats didn't update yet, because we should start seeing, 50% of the network hash rate should be unknown at this point, which is starting to get into attack territory. Now, Cubic always claimed they wanted to attack. They attacked Monero. They did reorgs, and that's another thing. They think that's all awesome. Oh, we're doing this. We're attacking it. Blah 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 blah. We'll pay our miners more because we're attacking it. Kawhi isn't. They're not saying they're attacking anyone. They're not going to attack anybody. I think people that are doing this to attack chains is, that's just bad. Maybe that's why they're losing their value, is because they actually were attacking. I don't know, but anyway, for the most part here, 2 point some terahash is the number one pool. So in theory, they're the top pool right now. So we're gonna have to wait and see if there's updates here sometime soon. So that is interesting. And we can see the Ravencoin difficulty has been climbing since Kawhi got on board. So there's some numbers happening there. Now, what are the other numbers looking like? Let's just take a look at Shaw. So 503 petahash. So Bitcoin Cash right here, 503 petahash. And Shaw is for Bitcoin Cash for them. So let's go to Bitcoin Cash. They are now at 500. So this is second place pool. 530 petahash is second place on Bitcoin Cash. So they're the largest pool on Ravencoin. They are the second largest pool on Bitcoin Cash. They're pulling in some money, guys, and they are putting it into Quai, and it's helping miners. Miners are making money because of it. That's crazy. Now what do they got here when they come into where is it? Now, when it comes to script, they're not as big. So they're only 23.2 terahash. So if we come in now and look at Litecoin, they're small when it comes to the script algorithm. So 23 terahash is right here. So yeah, they're the 11th place pool. Not very big. Not very big. They're bigger than Mining Dutch though, so that's interesting. But yeah, they're not even top 10 when it comes into mining script. So imagine that script's one of the biggest ones. Script is the major one. Look at those. $2 million a day right now it pays. Bitcoin Cash is only 450. So if they moved up the ranks to say top 5 pools on script, which would put itself into Dogecoin, Quai is gonna go freaking parabolic. Quai is gonna explode. If they get more hash rate on the Dogecoin and they start smashing a lot of them Doge blocks, because look how big it is. It's the second largest cryptocurrency in proof of work in terms of emissions, $2 million. So if they can get up there, guys, Quai is going to explode in price. Not financial advice, but wow, like we're almost at the point where we haven't seen anything yet when it comes to Quai price going up. If this becomes a thing, they need more hash rate for this to happen. Now, I'm not saying everyone go out there and put your script miners on there, because obviously, the major pools are on script right now. Like this is where the big guys are. You're not messing around with, all these other little pools here. When you're coming into Litecoin and Dogecoin, you're dealing with F2 pool, Ant pool, via BTC, EMCD here, guys, like litecoinpool.org, Ant pool. Like you got the big boys mining this, like Bitcoin. Big boys are here. So it's going to be hard to get hash rate from them pools onto yours. So, I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does, Quai could really see some major price discovery. It's not really price discovery, price siphoning projects. Like if they get a lot more of that Doge money, like who knows? Quai could easily double from here. It'll be pretty crazy. Yeah, Quai is tapping Slow's blocks, but imagine if they double or quadruple that. Like even more than that. What if they got, 5 or 6 times more Doge blocks? Like that'd be insane. Like right now, Doge is up there in terms of what they're getting. Like let's take a look at here. We can see how much revenue they got by chain. So here we can see 155,000 from Doge, 22,000, 186, and 124. So Bitcoin Cash is obviously, because of the second largest pool, is that. Now they're very small on Dogecoin, but Dogecoin is their second largest. So imagine if they became top 5 on Doge. This would be up to $500,000 a day or something. $600,000 a day is what they'd be pulling into here from that. So it would greatly increase everything they got pulling in. So it'd be insane. It's totally insane. All right, let's go back. We haven't checked on Monero for a while though. Let's see what Monero's at. Oh no, 788 is dipping. We got a dip. We got a dip. We're dipping. No, come on. Are we gonna hit 800? Let's do that. Alrighty. Also, good afternoon. Need take my CPU rig out of the box. What? Your rig is in the box still, moms? Oh, geez. What exchange is it for sale on? Which one? Quai? Quai is on MEXC, and I gotta look. Quai network. Exchanges. All right, so here it says it has a bunch. So we got Quai on Binance though? No, it's not on Binance, is it? Fees, Binance, register now. That's BTC. Oh, this must be total. That's not for Quai. That's for whatever. Let's go to. I'm gonna have to go to this and take a look at it. Quai is not on Binance. So let's go to Quai script. And we can see right here. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Quai. Quai Kapow. Yeah, look at that. 2.41 terahash. Crazy. Crazy. Anyway, exchanges. So Gate.io and MEXC. And holy crap, $2.6 million. They got some volume happening. And look at Gate.io, just a cool 800, almost $1 million here. So definitely we can see all this is here. I got a referral for this if anybody wants to use MEXC. Now I know a lot of you guys can't use it depending where you are. I'm just gonna open this up, see if I can find my referral. In case you guys want to use it. Mayonnaise, where are you? Oh, I gotta log in and stuff. I got it in older videos. I don't know. Anyway, that's crazy. Absolutely insane. Go back into where are we going? Oh, yeah. Back to Monero. Checking out Monero's price. There we go. Come on, Monero. Show us some stuff. Did it update on the new all-time high? 33 minutes ago. 798.9. Wow. Less than $2 from 800. Now we're having a dip. It makes sense. It's going to dip a little bit. Let's see if it recovers. That's insane. Wow. I haven't seen any for sale for a long time. I have been looking for a while. Don't forget, Quai has 2 coins. QI doesn't have a price yet, but technically there too. Okay, I understand. I forgot about that. I don't even think of that. I just look at whatever normal Quai. What else do we got going on here? On XT and it's on XT and iBank also. And soon Quai is going to be on what's it called? Kraken. It's going to be coming to Kraken soon as well. So that'll open up the floodgates for a bunch of you guys, I think. Okay, where are we at? Oh, we've been here for almost an hour and a half. So maybe we should wrap this one up, guys, though. It was awesome looking at this. Monero just continues to smash highs. CPU miners are loving life right now. Things are looking pretty good. So share this video around, guys. Share the channel around. We'll try to do some more Monero stuff. We'll figure out what we got going on and what we're going to do. But thank you for checking out this live stream, guys. I appreciate it all. I will see you all in the next one. Rabid out.